at the end of the touring around the kitchen table, and the father asked the family, well, what do you think? Where would you like to live? Because I can do my business, you know, in any one of these cities, but in which city would you like to live? And he said it was unanimous. They all said Toronto, because we've got something for everybody. TSO, opera, ballet, TIFF movies.
Don't forget Drake.
Well, I'm just going to say that. I was going to say that. I do a number of interviews with American media, social media, and often they ask about Drake's contribution to the city, and my response is, we've got a solid economic system here, but Drake has given us attitude. We're cool. This is a cool place in which to live, work, and play. And I think you've got to get that across as well. If I were an Amazon employee and maybe relocation was part of the situation, I would be delighted to know that I'm going to Toronto. There's something for everybody in this city. And my teenage kids are going to be more excited probably than me, because Toronto does have that brand today. This is a cool place in which to live, a hot place, I guess, in which to do business.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mark.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's good. Thank you very much, Councillor Kelly. Just before I speak, I had wanted to ask the general manager to comment on this, but when I looked over, he wasn't in the room at the time, and so he is in the room now. So procedurally, we'll follow. I'm just going to ask to vary the procedure for a moment in order to allow him an opportunity to comment, because my question, and all those in favor of varying? Thank you. And my question to the general manager is, what are your thoughts?
Well, first, a couple of main points I wanted to make, and a couple of things that haven't been mentioned so far. But first of all, we're working very well with Toronto Global. I think the system is great, and so I'm very pleased that the region will put its best foot forward here. Three things to think about. First of all, this is a 50-year decision by Amazon. So some of the short-term things, I think they will smooth out in their thinking. And we need to give a 50-year pitch, which is our strongest element, because we are the only North American city of major proportions that can legitimately say we will have a rapidly growing labor force despite the aging demographics because of our immigration, and because of both from outside Canada and inside Canada, so that we have a secure pipeline for talent going forward. The second thing is, we're talking about 50,000 jobs from Amazon. That isn't even talking about the multiplier impact that they will have locally. This is a huge, huge thing. 50,000 employees is about the total payroll for the city when you count the police and the TTC. And we are the #1 employer in the region. So it would be the equivalent of that. There are only maybe 4 or 5 metropolitan markets in North America that can absorb it. And that is I think, to our thing. Another comment, we've had 1,100 economic development professionals from around North America and the world in town this past week. And this is the only thing they talk about. The competition will be ferocious. This is a once in a generation, once in a millennium, where this kind of thing is thrown out as publicly and almost naively as has been done. And so everybody is going to go hard at it. That we need to keep a cohesive federal, provincial, local, regional voice that will speak volumes to Amazon, and we need to go as hard as we can go. I mean, we can have second choice advantages, and we clearly had one with HSBC. We need to go hard as we can, knowing that we're in a huge, huge competitive battle. And we'll do everything to support members of the committee, Toronto Global, in terms of making this a success.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. Let me just add my voice to the congratulations and the direction with respect to Toronto Global's going. Having served as the chair of Invest Toronto, and also been one of those folks who, for quite some time, been talking about the need for this organization so that we can all succeed together, because while we are a big city, the city of Toronto, there are many limitations that we do have as well as it relates to bigger perspective and having to attract large organizations who want to set down a big facility or plant. And the cost of an acre of land in the city of Toronto is $50 million. And how many acres you need to set a 2 million square foot facility in this particular region. And so I'm glad, and Mark, your leadership has been exemplary. It's been terrific. Janet, yours as well. And Toby, you're starting this from ground zero to where it is today. I think that it should be commended that you have done an amazing job. We weren't sure, Toby, initially, but neither were you, right? But I would just simply say that I think we're all in good hands and things are working well, and your presentation has been very helpful, and I think that this is the way to go. The questions I've asked, I just wanted answers to. I had no thought that they wouldn't be well thought out in terms of the response to the RFP, consideration given to small businesses on Main Street, everywhere in this city and beyond, and so on. And obviously bringing a Canadian flavor and content to these things. And I was there with Janet Ecker, the mayor, when we had many discussions with respect to HSBC in many different forms and so on. And Ms. Ecker is right. While we didn't get the big prize, as the mayor has indicated, well, look, if we don't get the big prize, maybe let's get something, right, at the end of the day. And it's given us a profile and stuff. I know we were competing with Frankfurt, Singapore, and other places, and London itself in terms of remaining the head office there and so on. So a lot of work's been done. And now we're in this collaborative phase of how we're all working together, like everyone is in sync. This is a great opportunity for us, and as Mike has just indicated, this isn't an opportunity for next year or the year after. This is an opportunity for the horizon of 50, 100 years out, and that's the decisions that we make as members of council on a daily basis. Most people in the city don't realize that. They say, well, why does it take you so long, and how come you guys are wasting so much time, and so on and so forth? Because there's a requirement to really do it right. And I would say, and Mark, you talked about talent retention, talent attraction, and so on. We have the talent here. We have the diversity. We've got all of those things. And I would say that we have the political climate, really, that is encouraging, and that is such to encourage this type of activity. But we do have, I'd say, as I said, the elephant in the economy, and I guess the unpredictable nature of some to make comments and to say things. And while Mr. Bezos owns the Washington Post and a variety of other things, and Whole Food Market and all of these things, it is still something that when that pressure of 250 million people is against you, we have to recognize. And the discussion that Mike has just brought into the mix with respect to the many economic development officers who have come in from around the globe. I spoke yesterday at their luncheon and spoke to many last night at Castle Loma, and it is something that every one of them has their eyes on and so on. So it will be up to us in terms of how we collaborate, how we put it together and so on. But at the end of the day, I'm very assured that we will do the right thing in the best interest for everyone in the region and the people of Toronto. So I'm very happy with respect to the leadership that you are all taking on this. And obviously our team here is ready, willing, and able to help in terms of facilitating, as well as I know I spoke to Mayor Crombie, I spoke to Roger Anderson and many others and so on about these particular issues. And I think that we're all on the same page in terms of moving forward. So thank you very much for your presentation today. I'd like to move receipt of the presentation, and we look forward to seeing you again. And good luck, Toby. Congratulations. Good luck. Cheers, Mark. Thank you. Janet. Thank you. Okay, members, moving right along, we are now